Hi, I'm Alex Archbold. I've been buying and selling antiques since I was a kid. Over the years, generations of our family have gotten involved in the business, and I'll search just about anywhere I can to find hidden treasures both big and small. I never know what I'll turn up next. It's about exploring new places, seeing new sights, and having fun. And even though sometimes I get over my head, we try and make things a little better along the way. This is Curiosity Inc. Hey everybody, and welcome to today's episode. I'll be honest, I don't exactly know where I am. Well, I'm in Arkansas somewhere, but I saw a sign for a flea market. Thing is, it looks like a motel complex or a senior's lodge, but apparently there's stuff here. So let's go walk around and see what there is. Yeah, I gotta find out what this was. Like, it kind of has the look of maybe a motel, but then there's no real outside entrances. So I'm thinking maybe like it was a lodge or something. Who knows? I'll ask them. Maybe they'll know. Okay, we're in, and I asked what the building was. It wasn't a senior's lodge like I thought. They said it was corporate offices for a food store. So a little different than what I thought, but we're gonna have a walk around and see. I sort of got distracted by the Superpowers Robin in the package down there. It looks like they have all kinds of stuff. From toys and jewelry and all sorts of things. So let's have a look around and see if we can find something to buy today. I've noticed in some of the antique malls and places I've been, there's a lot of new old stock 1990s baseball cards. Somebody must have found a stash of them or something at one point. I think they would have all been open by now. I know when I was a kid, I wouldn't have had the ability to not open a box or a pack of cards or video game equipment. When I was at the Crystal Bridges Museum, one of the guards there said he collected video games. Wish he was with me. We could be looking at video games together. Oh, I wonder if that's the old one or if that's the new one. You guys remember having this stuff when you were a kid? That's a re-release, I think. But I had Ghostbuster toys were a little bit after me. I felt like I was a little too old, which is funny because I was probably 12 or 13 at the time, but I felt like I was a lot older than I was. And yet I was buying Corgi and Dinky and Matchbox toy cars because that was apparently more acceptable. But I always thought those were cool, and I always wanted the Ghostbuster car. For those of you that watch my channel for a while, you know I ended up with one. A real one. My gosh, this place is packed to the rafters with collectibles and stuff. Robots and giant masks. I feel like my collectibles radar is going to kick in. I feel like I've got to be able to find something here to buy. Now, this place, she said, if you keep going left, you'll work your way through. But look, there's stuff there. There's stuff down here. This is probably one of the biggest. This is called Highway 102 Flea Market. And I would say it's definitely one of the bigger flea markets or antique collectible shops that I've seen in this part of Arkansas so far. Although I haven't seen everything. But look, there's rooms that used to be people's offices that are just packed completely full of stuff. Everywhere you look. Trains and toys, but there's nobody here. I guess it's just the one girl at the front, so when you want to buy something, you gotta haul your stuff up to the front. That's okay. We can do that. These little pop vinyl figures. Had to deal with those in the past. But what I am looking for is cool old toys, collectibles, comics. Maybe I'll find some train sets. Oh, look, there's a Led Zeppelin. Some good records, good albums. Ooh, the furnace room. It looks like these pop vinyl figures are still pretty popular, or people have a lot of them. But let's see if we can find maybe some old Hot Wheels or some neat action figures. We'll keep walking about and see. Look, Terminator 2. Are you vlogging? I kind of turned the camera off for a sec because the fellow was asking me about vlogging. He's interested in getting into it and maybe doing YouTube and stuff, so always happy to chat with somebody. So we're gonna continue down the hallway. I know I kind of came into the left there, but we're gonna keep on going. And the locals say this is one of the best places to come and explore. Lots of albums. If my brother Steve was with me, he'd be all in this, and my dad. Did I look in here? I don't even know where I've been and where I haven't been. Yeah, I think I came in this way. But you gotta look in every corner because there's stuff just all over the place. Everywhere you go. This is definitely my kind of place. Gosh, my brother Steve, if you're watching, you would love it here. There's an epic amount of stuff. This is where it's at. This is where all the fun stuff was at. There's no teacups. There's no pot. I just said in a previous video how I don't mind teacups and teapots, but I'm not excited about it. What I'm looking for is neat stuff. Toy cars and, I don't know, just fun collectibles. Things that remind you of your youth, maybe. But you would have to have actually grown up to reminisce about your youth. I think I'm still just permanently there. What do we have going on here? It looks like a bunch of sports cards. And they're not overly organized. There's just like boxes scattered full of them. There's that part of me, the collector part of me is going, oh no, those corners are getting all bent. But I guess if they're not worried, why should I be worried? It's not my stuff. Got your back. That's funny. In a hokey cheesy kind of way. Cabbage Patch doll still in the package. And it must be imported from Japan or Korea or something. Where is it from? And I apologize that I don't know that exact script, but that's an imported one. Have to admit, I'm not a huge fan of the pop vinyl. They're kind of neat, but I can see how you get carried away with collecting those things after a while. But some of them are neat. Look at that. Run DMC in concert, the whole little set with the stage and the whole deal. I could see if you found something that you really liked like that. Throw it up on your shelf. Have a little fun with it. I feel like I could get lost in here real easy. This is a really big space. Oh, I used to sell those when we had our store. A shilling, little race car set. It's not an antique, but it's cool. I don't even know where I am. I'm completely lost. All the walls look really similar. There's a big draw for old Hot Wheel or 1980s and up kind of Hot Wheel cars. So every wall is like covered. Oh look, that's Rick Moranis. Hey, Fred. I feel like I was more of a Barney fan in the Flintstones. He was just a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. How could you not like Barney? Fred was sort of a little bossy, which is why he probably got clobbered with the frying pan on occasion. Not saying he had it coming, but not saying he didn't have it coming either. Okay, we've got comic books. Oh, look at all the comic books. The ones I'm looking for. So these are all priced at $2 each, which I'm gonna guess are sort of that 1970s era and up. And of course, some 70s comic books, you know, depending upon what happened in the comic, can be worth a lot of money. That's the thing, is that they're plot driven, the value of comics, as opposed to just being old doesn't really mean a whole lot. You could have a 1960 Spider-Man for $10, or you could have a 1960 Spider-Man for $1,000. This really depends on what happened at the time. There are some old ones in the mix here. This is labeled as being an Oddfellows helmet, and if I guess if you wore it, it kind of looks like a old Austrian or German military helmet. But if you wore that around, I guess people would consider you an odd fellow. Yuck, yuck. I've never actually seen a little model kit of a Honda CB77 Superhawk. No, it's not going to be a real big one. But that was like a bike I restored with my dad, was one of these. That's a little tempting, because I do have kind of a personal connection with it. I bought it back. I had it, I think when I first started my YouTube channel, I still had it, and I sold it because I wasn't riding it. Don't really regret selling it, but there were a lot of memories attached to it. Sometimes you just see stuff you've never seen before. 50% off clothing and books. Don't think I need anything in the clothing department. Oh look, there's the original, or the 80s Batmobile Model Kit. Michael Keaton. I found that Batmobile pedal car, or I guess it was a little electric ride-on car. Be nice to find the missing pieces for that. I still have that thing sitting in my garage as of right now. As of filming this, I have a little ride-on Batmobile. I was gonna say that looked like an older, is this a replica or is this actually an old one from the 70s? It's got a barcode on it. 2008. If that was the original kit from like the 70s, that would be really nice to find it with the box like that, still wrapped in the plastic. Hey, look. Bad as I want to be Dennis Rodman, and he's got interchangeable hairs. You can have pink hair or you can have lime green hair with sunglasses. And he's got blue jean cutoffs. So you could put him into his like street going clothes. That's weird. I mean, I don't remember having stuff like that when I was a kid. But I was more Star Wars and toy cars and stuff like that. You know, this is kind of interesting. It's an old Radio Shack. Is it Radio Shack? It just says Galoob Speedwave remote control Ferrari. Now, it's one of the least popular Ferraris that they ever made. And one of the more affordable GT Ferraris that they had out there. You don't see old Ferrari RC cars too often. Look, they've got the big gym sports camper, which I think is basically just like the Barbie camper, but they've done it in different colors. And W.C. Fields with his hat. Like, you really have to look at every square inch because, like, look, there's baseball cards still in their package from whatever year this is, probably like 1990 or something. Who knows what's down there? Armor All, disinfectant spray. I guess if you have a booth here, you can really sell whatever the heck you want. Anything and everything. From a box of Batmobiles to Armor All to a creepy clown in a chair. That's the thing, you could stand in one space. What? It's the Stopper 4x4 set. For 30 bucks. Does it have any of the cars in it though? I had this, or I had something like this when I was a kid. It's the cars that are worth the money though, but that's so cool. You like never see Stomper stuff. That's neat. This place is like definitely a blast from the past. Look, you got the Flintstones movie, Fred in his car, and you've got all the figures down there. I don't know what that price is. $4.20? Is it $4.20 or $420 or $5? I don't know what that means. Dick Tracy. I had a bunch of these figures not that long ago. The Madonna figure is the one that's worth the whole pile because they actually pulled it off the shelves. I had one of those because she was like No Face or whatever her name was, and they released it at the same time the movie came out. So if you bought the figure, you just took it off and you could see who the character was and ruin the whole plot of the movie. So they pulled it, but not after a bunch of them went out on the shelf. Many disappointed kid bought the toy first before they saw the movie and had the whole thing ruined for them. Furniture. Stuff. More action figures. Sometimes you find a booth and you see the odd thing out that they don't normally carry. So they've got globes and dishes and stuff, but then they also have this Battlestar Galactica coloring set still in the package with little markers and stuff. And look, it's like a 1970s little boogie van remote control. Not the most detailed thing on the planet, but it's kind of neat. What's the train set over here? Oh, it's just like a little battery operated train. Keep your eyes peeled because you might find that one little gem. So I'm not kidding, guys. This place is absolutely massive. I've been wandering now for 20 minutes and I really have no idea where I am. It's just like you could wander and wander and wander, and there's just row after row. I mean, you could spend a day in this place. And I have to be on my way fairly soon here, so I'm gonna have to do a quick runabout, but I just know I'm missing stuff. Like around every corner is something really neat. Like this wall of 1990s or 2000s Simpsons characters. Just everywhere you look, there's something cool. Oh, look at these old arcade games back here. This one is called the Miss America Triple Bonus. How do you play this thing? It's really early, like probably 1950s pinball. You got another one there too. A lot of these games were kind of illegal for a while to play. They were considered gambling devices, and there's famous pictures of people actually smashing them, burning them, breaking them. So trying to find them still intact in original condition is fairly difficult at times. But those are two older units. You can tell that one's even a bit older. It's got the wooden legs on it. Pretty neat. I like old arcade stuff. And you don't see it too often. I mean, I've looked all around this shop here today, and those are the first two I've seen. I'm kind of talking a little bit lower because people probably think I'm crazy talking to myself walking around here. And they'd be right. Okay, I stopped at this wall to kind of have a quick look because there's all these Hot Wheel cars, and typically, you know, they were 77 cents new. But if you were lucky back in the 90s or 2000s, if you found a special one, it would say treasure hunt on it, like this. So that's actually one of the first series treasure hunts that they did. It's a Viper, probably came out in 95 or 96. So even to this day, if you look, you can find the slightly rarer cars. That's not a really great casting of a Viper. It's pretty clunky looking, if I'm honest. But you know, for $10, if you don't have that one in your Hot Wheels set, that's actually a pretty fair price. Well, what a fun place to come visit. Look, I came out there, but I went in there. It's like a big horseshoe shape, and every single room is packed full of collectibles. If you're ever in this area of Arkansas, you got to stop by at the Highway 102 Flea Market, guys. It's definitely worthwhile. Thanks for watching today's episode. We'll see y'all soon, and bye for now.